That is what you just described. The adults having it. And most adults that have it, they had it as kids, they had it as children, and they kind of, yeah, they grow up with it. ADHD is like a brain disease, is a brain developmental disease or disorder. They don't like calling brain disease. This is a disorder. So it's a developmental issue. So maybe your brain did not develop in certain areas, or maybe the brain structure or the brain chemistry. There's some kind of, or people develop differently, right? So these people now, they are behaving a certain way that you are having problem with, but it's not their fault. It's a brain thing, right? And then many people that have this when they are kids, some of them they grow out of it, and they're able to function. Some people they have like mild level, because everything have mild level, a moderate level, and severe or advanced level. So what you're describing now will be like those that have the advanced level, right? So some people they have the mild level or the moderate level, they are still able to function, right? But those ones that are having problem are those ones that have severe, and they're noticing, oh, I can't keep a job, I can't do this, I can't do that. My partner is angry, and I don't understand why is it that. Because it's not just you that is the partner that is suffering. Even the person that has this disease is wondering, why can't I do like other people? What is wrong with me?
Why can't I keep a job?
Why can't I keep a job?
Why do I keep getting tickets?
Yes. So they're having that problem too because they know something is wrong and they've not been properly diagnosed. Some of them will have people now that are doing those diagnoses. Now they are diagnosed. Some people that we are not diagnosed as children, they are being diagnosed as adults. The same with autism too, right? They were not diagnosed as children, but you just know that something is wrong. Something. This person is not. Something is wrong somewhere, right? So they are getting diagnosis now and they are getting support because there's an understanding now that it's a long-term disease for some people that did not drop it as they grow up. Some people, they drop it before when they grow up, they started functioning well. Because I'm thinking those ones, they might have the mild or the moderate version of it. So it all depends. Some people, they are managing well with this. And then maybe a life event happened. Maybe they lost a job, they lost a child, they went through grief. It kind of messes everything up and right? So that is why it is. I keep saying it. You see, when I talk about mental health, it's not just when you're going to therapy. We have the medication aspect of mental health, one that is psychiatrist prescribed or your doctor can prescribe. Then we have the therapy, right? So mental health is a lifelong process. It's not something you just go and do and go home. No, the way you take care of your physical health, take care of your mental health. Because your mental health, whether you believe it or not, it is what drives your thought. It is what drives your behavior. It is what drives your attitudes. So what is happening on the inside controls what happens on the outside. So you better make sure the inside is solid and balanced as best as it should be.
So important and it can actually be treated.
Yes, it could be treated, not fully treated, but it could be managed.
It could be managed. It's not necessarily cured, but it could be managed.
No, it could be managed. There are some people, when they go through the assessment, they are put on medication, they are put on structured. Most of them, because I have clients that have that, because I have a particular client that had ADHD. He was diagnosed as an adult. He has gone through divorce, a lot of things. But he was able to he always gets sensory overload when he's walking.
What does that mean?
Sensory overload. He's working with computer, right? At the time, it's so overwhelming that he has to leave that spot. So he gets overload, and the boss is always complaining. He's very good at his job, but when he gets that, his brain shuts down. Like, he gets overwhelmed. I need to take a break from this, right? So when he started working with me, we came up with one of the strategies for him to break down the work simplify, go deep. Ask as much question as you can from your client to get what it is that they want you to accomplish. Break it down so that you understand the in and out of what it is that they want. And then you knowing yourself and knowing how you work, you can now break the tasks into manageable chunks. You can say, I'll do this for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, that's it. So break it down like that during the day. That way you're not just, if you're getting overwhelmed, after tax 1, you can say, let me leave tax 1. I'm done with tax 1. Tax 2 is getting me stressed out. Let me leave it. I can go to 3 or can take a break. That way you are still making progress without you abandoning the the whole work.
Sure.
Yeah, so he did that and he was able to find some kind of stability. So you can understand that these people, they want one solution, but there's nobody to guide them.
Yeah, there's no awareness too.
Yes, there's no awareness too. But most awareness that comes from ADHD, especially adults, ADHD, there's a lot of sympathy for kids, but there's no love for adults.
Yeah, people.
Most of those ones come with lots of blame.
Yeah,
Yes.
and sometimes it ends in marriage, like divorce and stuff,
Yeah,
because they don't. Because what you're not aware of, you can't even tackle.
exactly. Exactly. So it's so unfortunate. So that is why when we talk about mental health, because this is where awareness comes in. You have to know what it is that you have and start working on it.
There needs to be more education on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Are there are there ways that the Bata government or your feel like you guys are really educating the community or the society about such things? Because we all know that kids, it's got something to do with it. Like you have kids that have ADHD, but
Mm-hmm.
it's never really talked about when it comes to adults.
Adult.
Are there ways of education that we people can be more enlightened about it?
Like I told you, the mental health conditions are not something you see. It is something that is happening on the inside. We
So
need
how do they find out?
Yeah, we need people coming in. We need people coming in for assessment. Because how do you get solution if you don't come to be assessed? Because when you know, mental health is still a taboo topic. It has a lot of
Yeah,
stigma. People don't want people to say, "Oh, you are crazy." I like to simplify it. All of us are crazy. Everybody is crazy. It's just that we are able to manage our craziness, and we are able to function with our level of crazy or madness. But it's mad.
I
Right?
know.
So if you say it that way, you are not like there's no stick, there's no this person, everybody. If I say everybody, I mean everybody. Because there's some
That's
period
amazing.
that your brain will disconnect and you
Yeah.
display a little bit of madness. But the thing with some people is they're able to get themselves back, right?
Mm,
So everybody
mm,
is mad, or everybody has the potential to become mad,
mm.
right? So let us work on that and just let go of that stigma of mental illness, right? And then let us start asking questions. If you notice something, if you feel like something is not wrong, meet your
It's not
family
right.
doctor. It's not sorry. If you feel like something is wrong with you or something is not right, go to your
Yeah.
family doctor. Tell them this is what I'm thinking. Can you refer me to a psychiatrist? Right? I need to be assessed for this, for that. They'll put you on the wait list. But they're assisting your doctor. If you're stressed out, your doctor can give you some psychiatric medication that keeps you balanced a bit while you're waiting to be assessed, right? You can be doing that, and then you can also go for private therapy if whatever it is that is going on with you is affecting your ability to function in your day-to-day life. Then that is where therapy is important. I want to see therapy. I'm going through this. I want to know how to manage my stress when it's becoming overwhelming. What do I need to do? So that is where some people that don't have control, that is where domestic violence comes in, because they feel like they are being pushed. They are getting overwhelmed. This person does not understand me. This person keeps pushing, pushing, pushing. And the only way I can make them stop is to hit them. So you can see how one problem is leading to another problem, and another problem is leading to another problem, right?
For
So
sure.
what do
For
you do?
sure.
How do you manage yourself in that situation? While you are still waiting for solution to your problem, or you are creating more problems, right? So how do I
Wow.
manage myself in such a way that I am not escalating? I'm able to contain until I get to understand what it is that is wrong with me, so I can know how to better help myself.
So how do you manage it until you get it?
You manage it by getting yourself to be assessed.
Okay.
We don't deal with this in a vacuum. You have to come out. You have to be assessed. You have to come for therapy. You are because sometimes some people come to when they come to AHS, the mental health for
Hmm.
the single sections. Sometimes like me, I can make referral to a psychiatrist. If I have a
Okay.
client and I feel like the client needs more, I can make a referral to a psychiatrist, right, and consult to see how they can see if their case is severe, see how they can fast track to see if they can get seen and assessed, depending on you. But you have to show up first.
Meaning that the person has got to be self-awareness. That calls for self-awareness. You've got to. Socrates says, "Man, know thyself." Like you have to also be able to say, "Hey, there is something not very right with my life. I feel like there's something that's kind of amiss. I think I need to go check up, go and check in with the doctor and see if
Yeah.
you could do some assessment." Wow,
Yes.
that's a
Yes.
good one.
Yes.
still on that same mental health, I've heard a lot about trauma. Um, like I've heard people use the words recklessly. I've heard people use the word judiciously. I've heard people now we don't even know if people are just if it's just a catchphrase or if it's just for fun. I like to know the word trauma. What is trauma? And really and truly, what effect does it play in a relationship? Because I'm all about relationship being successful, having a tribal relationship. What is trauma, and if it's whatever it is, can you please tell our listeners, what role does it play in relationships? Please.
Okay. So trauma is not a facade. Trauma is real. Trauma is as real as you have headache or migraine. That is how real trauma is. So what is trauma? Trauma is like a psychological trauma. There are physical traumas too, right? When people have an accident and all those things. So when you go to the emergency, there are trauma unit. Trauma unit, when it comes to physical health, trauma unit is something that is severe. So imagine something severe happening to your physical body. So psychological trauma is something severe happening to your mental health, right? So what is trauma? Trauma happens when somebody experiences something that overwhelms them. So it could be an accident. Maybe you went through an accident. You don't want to drive a car anymore. Because each time you want to go into that car, you feel like I'm going to have another accident, right? So each time you are raped, you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with any man. If you're a female that was raped, right? I don't want to have anything to do with any man anymore. Each time any man is being aggressive towards me, I am triggered, right? So
Wow.
it means that something happened to you and it overwhelms you that you could not cope. You could not cope, right? So that is what trauma is. And trauma could be a single event like accident, rape, war, death, divorce, one event, right? And trauma could also be a combination of different events, series of events, right? Like
Okay.
people that are working, you have a boss that is mean and it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building. You're going through stress at work, right? Or you are in a marriage, a lot of things are going wrong. You just keep building until
It's
you get to a
piling up.
point. Yes, it's piling up until you get to a point where the person crashes because the person
Wow.
cannot hold it, cannot contain it anymore. So that is
Yeah.
trauma. And it could be direct. Trauma could be direct, it could be indirect. So it could be something you experience directly. It could be something that affected you that's something that affected you, but you did not experience it. If you take, for example, now when they are talking about the Black Lives Matter, right?
Okay.
Most Black
Okay.
people are collectively affected. That one becomes a collective trauma because we are being affected because somebody that looks like us is going through something.
Mm.
So you see people now like the young male in the US now, they are afraid of the police. It's not because they've had any problem with police themselves, but it's because of indirectly they are being affected because somebody that looks like them. Many occasions,
Wow.
many
Wow.
exposures. They've seen it happen
Wow.
again and again, and they believe within themselves that it could happen to me one day,
Damn.
right? And they see a police officer, they are triggered because of that. So it could be direct, it could be indirect. And then when trauma happens and it overwhelms your body kind of shuts down and you develop what is called PTSD.
Okay.
PTSD is post traumatic PT, post
Post
traumatic
traumatic syndrome
stress,
disorder,
post
stress
traumatic
disorder,
stress disorder,
stress disorder.
PTSD, right? You
Yeah.
develop what is called PTSD. So what is PTSD? PTSD is when that trauma that happened, maybe the trauma, maybe somebody experienced war,
Okay.
right? Or
Somebody experienced rape. Okay. That can that can okay. Like an auto accident.
no, 5 years ago, they have a very severe accident. Maybe they were had admitted in the hospital or something like that. Maybe
Okay.
somebody was severely injured from that accident and they were the driver
Okay.
of that car, right?
Okay. Okay.
So what is PTSD? PTSD is each time somebody asks you to drive a car, your brain just flashes that, oh my goodness. So you get into that zone that you were when you had that accident. It's like the thing is real. And
Wow.
you're like, no, because I am convinced that if I ride this car now, another accident that will look like what I've had before will happen, right? And you see the person now, that is PTSD. So there's a flashback, And when it becomes severe, some people are having nightmares. Like they're sleeping, they're dreaming about it. They have, and when they do that, some people they sleep, they dream, they wake up, they are sweaty, they have anxiety, they have uncontrollable thoughts about this. They're thinking about this morning, afternoon, night, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And that's when it comes to trauma and PTSD, therapy is very useful for that. Medication helps too for severe cases. Therapy is very good too. We have a lot of therapy techniques that we use to help people break. You can talk about it without you going into that zone where it looks like you are experiencing, like the thing is happening to you right that moment,
Wow.
instead of talking
Wow.
about it. So that is what that is, right?
Wow.
And then when you bring it again to relationship, we have people that were raped, maybe women, even men, male too. Let me use women because I'm a woman. Women that
Yeah.
were raped when they were younger. Maybe there's a
Okay.
day their husband came back.
Yeah.
Maybe the husband was drunk or something happened, and the husband might be a bit maybe forceful. Maybe she said no, the
Yeah.
guy was a bit forceful. Her
Yeah.
brain goes back to that
Triggers.
rape.
Wow.
It triggers her,
Whoa.
and then you can see her
Whoa.
now accusing
Whoa.
her husband of rape, and the man is like,
Yeah.
"Where is this coming from?" Right? But it is that. So that is why understanding the trauma history of the person you are with is very important. And you see what I'm telling you, that pre-marital and therapy and counseling is very important. So you get to
Yeah.
understand who this person is, what are their triggers, and they get to understand who you are, what are your triggers. That way you guys are not in a marriage or in a relationship where you are consistently triggering each other.
Whoa.
But when
Whoa.
you trigger
Whoa.
somebody for when they are being exposed, after some time the best solution might be, you know what? I'm not
Fight
doing
or
this anymore.
flight.
Yes. They're like, I'm not doing this anymore. And they're like, oh, they are so good together. Did he beat you? No. Did she beat you? No. Why are you guys getting a divorce? We don't want anymore. That becomes the answer, right? Because there was
Coincidence.
something that was underlined that they did
Wow.
not address.
Wow. An underlying diagnosis, a protracted PTSD that wasn't
Mhm.
addressed, and then it just crashes the marriage and
Yes,
the
and let me
relationship.
shock you. Many people from the African continent,
Yeah.
they have childhood trauma, and they have maybe more. They have many of them have from mild to moderate to severe PTSD, but they are because they are able to. You see, some people they are functioning well as individuals because you
Okay.
can function, you can manage it because it's just you. And then when
Okay.
somebody comes in and kids start coming in,
Yeah.
some days you're not able to manage, and that triggers. So that is
Wow.
why sometimes if you're from Africa, please, before you marry anybody, you know how you're checking if they come from a good home, check their trauma history. It is very important. Go
Oh.
for therapy, therapy, pray. Some churches do it, they call it premarital counseling. It is very important. Let them know
Wow.
you, let them know their triggers. Very important. Very, 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 very important. Because we have some cases where women, they're like, I think my husband wanted to kill me, and they kill the husband, right? Because they are convinced in their, maybe it's trigger. Maybe somebody, or maybe something almost, or maybe somebody almost did something to them, unalive to them in
Yeah.
their past. And they're like, they've made a decision. This will not be me again. Instead of somebody who
Yeah.
do buy me, I will buy the person, right? Right? So we have
Wow.
those cases of that. So because we did not understand what are these people's triggers, right? So it's very important. It is very, very important. PTSD is real. It is real. It has made people lose so much. It has led to many divorces. PTSD. It is real.
I have a question. I've
Yes.
got a question with regards to this. So, you know, how do they say? Is it like? Is it? How do they say? Give a dog a bad name and hang it. Is that a good example? Okay, for instance, okay, so you are in a relationship with your partner, and you know, okay, maybe he or she has experienced something in their past, okay, and because of that, it triggers bad experience